Most people spend their entire lives climbing this massive ladder, only to get to the top and realize it's leaning against the completely wrong wall. They work harder, they earn more money, and yet somehow they stay exactly where they started. It's like this invisible ceiling that just prevents hardworking people from ever achieving true financial freedom. Today, we're going to break down the geometry of wealth, and we'll expose the invisible traps that are literally holding you back right now. I want you to imagine waking up at the age of 65 and realizing that despite decades of exhausting, relentless work, you're still not financially free. And it's not because you were lazy, it's not because you weren't smart, and it's not because you didn't earn enough money. The really uncomfortable truth: a few subtle, destructive financial habits repeated over thousands of days have just quietly consumed your wealth. So I need you to ask yourself right now, are your habits building your wealth, or are they quietly destroying it? Chances are millions of people are practicing at least one of these 7 wealth-destroying habits today, completely unaware of the damage it's doing. Let's uncover them together. Let's dive right in. Habit number 1, lifestyle inflation. Okay, so you get a raise. Congrats, right? But instead of investing that extra money, you upgrade your lifestyle. You get a better car, a much larger house, maybe some more expensive vacations. This creates what we call the invisible treadmill. When your expenses rise exactly in tandem with your income, you are essentially just running faster to stay in the exact same place. Sure, you might look richer on paper as your income grows, but your actual financial freedom, it remains at zero. Moving on to habit number 2, buying status instead of assets. Look, we're all human. We are biologically wired to seek the approval of our tribe, and that totally drives us to buy luxury items, the expensive cars, the designer brands, just to signal success. But looking rich is loud. It requires you to constantly act as a consumer. True wealth, on the other hand, is surprisingly quiet. Wealthy individuals don't spend their money trying to impress you. They are owners. They silently accumulate assets that generate even more freedom. Looking rich and actually becoming wealthy are 2 completely different games. Then there's habit number 3, waiting for the perfect time. We all do this. We wait for better market conditions, or we wait for a higher salary, thinking we absolutely need a massive sum of money to even start investing. But consider this absolutely staggering piece of math. If you were to fold a standard piece of paper in half 42 times, its thickness would literally reach the moon. Wealth multiplication works exactly the same way. It is entirely backloaded. The first decade feels slow and stagnant, but those final years, they feel like absolute magic. So the law of wealth geometry is actually pretty simple. Time beats amount. Every single time. A tiny seed planted early mathematically defeats a massive sum that's invested way too late. Honestly, the greatest financial mistake you can make isn't picking a bad investment, it's waiting so long to start that you completely surrender the physical weight of time. Which brings us to habit number 4, depending entirely on your salary. Society basically trains us to rely completely on a paycheck. It feels safe. But a salary requires your constant physical presence. True financial freedom is income that exists entirely independently of your labor. Your real wealth only begins when your money starts working for you, when you acquire businesses, real estate, and investments that just keep generating cash while you're fast asleep. Habit number 5, seeking instant gratification. Again, we have to blame our biology here. We are totally wired to prioritize the immediate feel-good high of buying something today over the completely invisible process of investing for 20 years. We call this the dopamine trap. It's giving ourselves permission to spend the exact second our bank account has a little room. But almost every great financial success story depends entirely on one core ability: sacrificing temporary pleasure today for massive exponential freedom tomorrow. Habit number 6, comparing yourself to others. We all know social media bombards us with this curated perfection, making everyone else look incredibly successful. It creates this deep, nagging dissatisfaction that ultimately leads to competitive, unnecessary spending. But listen to me. Financial success is never a competition against the luxury vacations of your peers. It is a private, quiet competition against your own behaviors. And finally, habit number 7, believing more money solves everything. This is the ultimate trap, believing that a higher salary is this magic wand that's going to erase all your financial stress. But as we've seen, more money often just means a more expensive life. Many high-income earners are incredibly stressed about money. You can earn a massive income, but if you keep eating the seeds of your future wealth through impulsive upgrades, you're going to remain trapped. A high salary can make you rich, for sure, but only strict discipline and habits can make you wealthy.
So let's look at the actual geometry of wealth.
Picture this. Imagine two people earning the exact same salary. One is the spender. They consume nearly everything they make. The other is the investor, quietly buying assets and planning for the future. Fast forward 20 years, and their lives are completely unrecognizable from one another. And it's not because one was smarter or luckier. It's simply because of those invisible habits they practiced every single day. One built wealth, the other destroyed it. This right here, this is the physics of wealth. It's thousands of small decisions repeated over decades, creating exponential outcomes that our human brains genuinely struggle to even comprehend. Your financial future isn't decided by one lucky, dramatic sprint. It's built by relentless consistency. It's giving time enough room to do the heavy lifting for you. If you take nothing else away from this, remember this one absolutely crucial rule. Every single dollar you spend today is a vote for the future you're creating. Every unnecessary expense is a direct trade-off against the massive financial freedom that money was destined to become. The math is absolutely on your side if you have the patience to let it build. So the question is really up to you. Will you continue running to nowhere on the invisible treadmill, or will you finally break these destructive habits and give time enough room to work? The choice is entirely yours.